Hey guys, my name is Jessika Phillips, and today we're going to talk about how to exhort an influence in the next wave of marketing. Essentially, how can you build a craveable brand in this dark social world? And don't worry, dark social is a lot different than dark web. It's all about how to be craveable, meaning getting that repeat referral business that comes back to you again and again. If we've not met before, my name is Jessika Phillips, and my personal mission is to inspire others to love more, give more, and be more through the art of authentic relating. Meaning, how can you connect beyond that surface level in order to build real relationships for repeat and referral business, growing that sustainable long-term growth for your brand? I believe firmly that relationships will always be more powerful than marketing. And today I hope to prove it as we dive into how to tap into what's next and what's already here in the next wave of marketing. The first thing, dark social, again, it's not different than the dark web. This is one of the things that's here right now. In 2019, Mark Zuckerberg said that the future of social is private, meaning that people more than ever are communicating in smaller, more niche communities and private channels like Messenger, WhatsApp, Stories, Snapchat, audio messages, like now there's Clubhouse, but Voxer, things that they're communicating with their peers, their community, the sense of belonging, the people that they feel comfortable with, to where they're having these conversations talking a lot about brands, but us brands aren't able to tap into what's being said about us to even know, is our marketing paying off? What are people saying? Are they saying good things about us? Should we tweak anything? It's becoming increasingly challenging to exhort an influence during this wave of marketing, especially because 90% of all buying decisions are starting online right now. Starting online when somebody's having a challenge, they're looking for a solution to help them solve it. They're starting online with a Google search or asking a friend, and now they're asking in private communities, but they're starting their search online. And the great thing about this, and the reason why people do it, is because they're presented with more options than ever before. The bad thing for us as brands is that they're presented with more options than ever before. And if we don't differentiate ourselves, unfortunately, our consumers are presented with a sea of samesies. All the same people trying to say that they solve the same thing. It doesn't even matter what niche of a business that you're in. There's somebody else that says that they do what you do. So how are our consumers to decide between choosing us or another brand that says that they do what they do? We're hoping that they're talking with us and making that decision from there. But 60% of that buying cycle before they're even making a decision is over before they're talking to a representative at our respective companies. What's happening is they're starting this decision-making process online. They're looking for who's worked with others, and they're making a decision based upon what other people are saying. And 80% of our traffic coming to our sites right now when they're making that decision is based upon dark traffic, meaning that those conversations that are hopefully creating buzz about our brands are starting in those private niche communities, and then they're coming to our website, and now we're not even able to track it, hence the name dark. So we're seeing this traffic come to our website. We're not able to attribute it to anything. So we're not really sure where to spend our marketing dollar, what conversations are working, or what marketing messages are working rather. And so this is the challenge for us as brands. And this is what we're going to break down today, because the first 10 weeks of the pandemic had more online sales than the past 10 years before it. The first 8 weeks, of the pandemic had more sales than the past 10 years before it. So 2020 only accelerated this process. People are becoming even more comfortable shopping online, making decisions online, even as much as, doing their grocery shopping via Instacart and, having their food delivered via DoorDash. But more than that, even any online product, they're feeling comfortable ordering as if even the things that they would normally order in person. I'm talking about even vehicles. Usually you would go into a car dealership, you would make a selection, you would test drive it, right? And then you would go make your decision from there. People are now even starting that process online, custom ordering what they're looking for reviews, and making decisions at a rapid pace before they're talking to a sales representative at that company. 2020 accelerated the rate of growth in which this happens. Let me give you an example to kind of put it into perspective. So all of us, the beginning of 2020, we had the same struggle, right? We're all searching for toilet paper, okay? And as we're searching for toilet paper, everything was out. So what do? We reach out to our family members, we reach out to our friends, we reach out to our online community, and we're like, who has it in stock? And if you're like me, fortunately, one of my friends said, you know what? You can't find toilet paper. Here's the alternative for you. You need to find this thing called Clear Rear. It's like a bidet for your hiney, and it'll help you. You never need toilet paper again. And so what did I do? I searched online for this product, found, other alternatives, but ended up, because of the recommendation that I seen from my friend and my peers being other people leaving reviews, purchased this product and installed it. Granted, I did find toilet paper. Hopefully all of you did too. But this is the process that's happening. I never once talked to that company. I never once, started searching out for other things once people were telling me where I could go. And this is what's happening with many brands. I already said over 80% of the traffic coming to your website, which your website's where actually sales take place. That conversation, what's happening there is as a result of dark social. Over 65% of shares about a brand are happening in dark social, text messaging, email, still big, and social communities. That's what is happening right now. So it's not about what we do, but it's about how we do it that's going to make the difference in the shift. Because anybody could be selling a bidet for your hiney if we're talking about that pain point. But it's about how we do it that makes the difference. If that product that my friend Chad would have bought was flawed, he wouldn't have been raving about it and insisting that people chose to do that product. But it's not even about that. It's about any service or product that we buy. That if we want to stand out from our competition, it's about how we do our process and what our product does for others that are going to make them become raving fans. So it's not about what we do, because anybody can say they can do what we do, but it's about how we do it, how we're showing up. Is when people are raving fans about our products, 88% of people are going to trust those reviews as much as a family member or friend told them about that product or service. So let me give you another example. If I'm searching for a product online, let's just say I was searching for alternative to that Clear Rear, and I'm starting my search online, and I see that other people, in which I did do this research, I seen other people, not just Chad, but other people are leaving a review for this product or service. I'm believing their reviews as if they were my friend Chad leaving it. I'm sure we can all have an experience with something there, whether it's a software that you last purchased, or maybe signing up for this webinar and in this conference, this event, based upon the experience that other people said that they had with it. We're trusting it as much as if our best friend, family member, coworker, colleague told us that we should choose that thing. So our peer recommendations have expanded. Another great example of this is like Amazon, shopping on Amazon. Chances are you probably don't know the people that have left those reviews, but you trust it. Chances are you probably even filter by it because you know that they're going to give you accuracy on the options that you can choose from and let you know if it's a wise decision or not based upon the feedback. But the people that leave the feedback, they have to love that product or service, right? Because they're not just going to leave a review just because somebody did exactly what they said they were going to do. In that case, that is a value exchange, value for value. But when you're willing to leave a review and advocate for something, it means that they've done something above and beyond your expectations. That's when you're going to be talking about it. And that's when you're going to be sharing it on. And this is where dark social magic comes into play. When you can be part of the conversation or give something worthy of talking about, an experience a personalized measure of delight, something fun, something worthy of talking about in the private niche communities that your audience is communicating in. This is how you exhort and influence the next wave of marketing. We have to find out how we can be part of this conversation, which truly means we have to think differently about marketing, that the sales funnel as we know it is dead, because the sales funnel says we broadcast our message out. That's what marketing is about, really just getting your message out there as far as you can. And when we do this, when we broadcast our message out, magically we're dumping all these, resources in and leads in to our sales funnel. And then those leads turn into marketing qualified leads, and then hopefully sales qualified leads at the end of the day. And then as soon as those sales qualified leads turn into customers, then we just refocus and try to get more leads dumped into the sales funnel. But with this message and where we're at today with marketing and business, this sales process starting online, all this purchasing decision made before we even talk to someone, and they're basing it off the number one deciding factor if a person's going to choose one brand over another is based upon the experience that they think they're going to have. That means our customers are our best advocates. It means our customers are our best marketing, and that we really have to find out ways that we can get people to talk about us. It truly means that the next wave of marketing really means we have to care more for our customers, because when we care more and we show up and we're exchanging more value than the value that's presented to us, then that's going to stand out. And that's what people are going to resonate. Our customers are going to resonate with and want to talk about us. So care more is an acronym. It means essentially, and we're going to break down what care stands for, but it essentially means we have to build better relationships with everyone that we serve, not just our customers, because relationship marketing practices, and that's really what this boils down to, means that we have to focus on, okay, all of the followers on our page, how can we turn them into true fans? Because our fans of our page are going to engage with us. They're going to comment. They're going to share our stuff on. They're going to be like our community cheerleaders. They may never even buy from us, but they're so connected to what we're sharing that they're going to pass it on, right? Those are the people that you really want in your circle because they're fans of your page. There's a big difference between a follower and a fan. It's also about connecting with our customers in a real level that turns our customer into advocate for us, the one that's going to message in the inbox and say, you must choose this company because they did X, Y, or Z for me. They're going to leave the review and talk about us in a positive light. It's about turning our community, so others that we work with that align with our beliefs, into collaborators with us, people that are willing to bring us into their trusted network to help add additional value. And by bringing us into their trusted network, their network is now presented as if it was a referral, and vice versa. You're bringing other trusted people into your community of trusted audiences, and now you're joining forces and aligning your efforts to reach people faster and smarter, and hopefully more magnetized. Because I like to say this is about being a magnet with your marketing, getting the right people to stick with you versus being a bullhorn and just shouting your message out. It's also about turning your team members into evangelists for you, because your team members are the ones that are typically working with your clients at the end of the day, and they're the ones that are going to be most likely to leave that impression of that experience of what it's like to work with your company. So I'm going to give you an example of this. Okay, if we break it down to the most basic form, and we use a product example, but honestly, this could be used with any company. We work with some of the most niche businesses that there are, like literally a company called Mr. Manhole, where his product digs holes in the ground and replaces manhole covers. So very unsexy industry across the board. But this client sells water bottles, okay? Their brand is named 50 Strong, and you would think water bottles could sell to anyone. So if we're thinking about out-carrying the competition, and this client is selling water bottles, they're like, okay, who is our client and who's our competition? Their client essentially, with logic, would say, could be anyone. Everybody needs a water bottle. We all need water and air to survive. But that's what they were doing at first. They were just marketing their message out to everyone, just about their product, right? And what I said before, it's not about what we do, but it's about how we do it. That's what this brand was doing at first. They were marketing their product to everyone. They were constantly needing to spend more and more on ads, more and more on paid influencers in order to try to convert people to be a customer, because when somebody searches for a water bottle, they're greeted with a sea of samesies. Everybody else that sells water bottles. But this company reached out to us. They were like, okay, we want to see what we're doing wrong. What can we do to focus in our efforts to really get a higher ROI? I'm like, I'm glad you asked, because this company came to us and we said, you know what? It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. What should people remember about you, and what's going to create this great experience? What's going to be worthy of them talking about? And what we did is come up with really at the core of who they are. They're not in the water bottle business, right? They are in the business of creating exceptional experiences for people. And this came from a conversation. I encourage you all to do the same. If you really want to grow this organic repeat referral traffic that is worthy of getting in the inbox, and how you can get ahead of what's coming already right now and what's going to continue to grow as more and more private, more niche communities pop up and people are spending their time here, and organic engagement continues to drop, is really take a step back first and say, what's at our core? Who are we and what are we here to truly do? Because when we got to the core of that for 50 Strong, we interviewed this husband and wife duo. Now, granted, they had an amazing business. They're already selling in Walmarts. They were selling on Amazon. They had a great business, but they were constantly needing to dump more and more into advertising in order to even keep up with the ROI they needed to kind of feed the machine, right? And they were getting exhausted. So we took a step back and we said, let's get back to the basics. Start from the inside out. Who are you and what are you really here to do? They both started telling me a little bit more about their story and what they believe, like what gets them up in the morning. And the husband is a mountain climber. He's one that, does these races. And the wife is just an amazing entrepreneur, visionary that's really all about supporting women. So we got down to the basics of it, created what we call their brand manifesto and their belief statement. Like, what are they here to do? What are they created here to do? And what they came up with was that they're helping people live an extraordinary life. And I love what they say here is that 50 Strong believes that we're all created for more, and that they're not about selling just water bottles. It's not about the water bottles. It's about helping people live an extraordinary life. And that's really what it takes, is you taking a moment and pausing, coming up with first a brand manifesto. Starting from the inside out, this is going to help you create a tone and a personality to the company that you are and that you're working for. And if you haven't heard of a brand manifesto before, chances are you have. I encourage you to do a Google search for one, but here's Apple's. Okay. So, and I guarantee you don't just hear them marketing this manifesto all the time. But what they did is start from the inside out, put the manifesto together. And this is just one popular example of them. But there's thousands of them out there. But what Apple did is put first on paper, what are they here to do? Because then everything starts clicking. The brand starts having a personality. The personality starts then building relationships. These relationships then invite people into the inbox. It creates this loyalty. It creates this magnet where people want to stick with you. So let me read Apple's manifesto. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, or glorify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Do you not just feel that? Especially if you're an Apple fan, right? So you can compare every marketing message that they put out, every, image that they're putting out, every commercial that they're putting out, and compare it against this manifesto for tone, personality, and style. It all aligns. Even though they're not putting this messaging out on everything, it still aligns with what they say and who they are. That's what 50 Strong did. They got to the basics of who they serve, who's their ideal audience, what are they in the business to do first, right? Starting from the inside out, and then who is it that they serve? They got specific on their audience. So it's not just anyone that wants to buy a water bottle. It's the very specific people that want to create and buy a water bottle. So I'm going to play you a short little video. Hopefully the sound plays here and show you their manifesto. So hopefully it all sticks together. Oh, maybe. Let's see if it plays.
Strong all day and night. For the moms and dads going strong all day and night. For the entrepreneurs doing the hard work to make their dreams a reality. For the hometown heroes risking their lives. The teachers and coaches raising up the next generation of innovators, engineers, artists, and athletes. For the new beginnings and the times you just want a fresh start. For the everyday, meaningful moments. For all those who choose to live an extraordinary life, paving their own path. To all those who inspire others to show up strong. This is for you. Together, we are 50 strong.
Your message is bigger than your product or service. And that's it, right? People connect with that. And not just because it was made into an amazing video, but because people can resonate and feel the tone of how the personality, when people show up passionate and excited about what they're selling. And it's not just the product. The message is bigger than your product or service. And that's it. People connect with it. They build relationships, they build rapport, and they build loyalty to the brands that show up in this way, because it says something about them for buying that product or service. And that is what people are looking for in today. That's who they'll advocate for. That's who they'll leave reviews for. And that's where it will be on display then when the next person is going online to make their purchasing decision. So they wrote out their brand manifesto, and I encourage you to do the same for your brand. That's where to start. No great messaging of marketing is ever going to come if we don't get the inside parts right first, meaning our brand manifesto, and then who it is that we're targeting at the end of the day. So could they potentially sell a water bottle to anyone on the planet? Absolutely, right? But does it increase their ROI and make more sense? And can they personalize their approach when they drill down to who their audience really is that they want to serve? Yes, 1000%. So that's what they did. They created their personas. Harper, for example, instead of just saying, I want to sell to anyone, they said, I want to sell to the working mom with an established career who has children who are finally out of diapers and in school. And Harper's finally finding herself again and finding her sole purpose outside of just being a mother, doing diapers, doing laundry, buying groceries, etc. She is rediscovering herself. So now we're putting a personality to the person that we're selling to. And this person wants to live an extraordinary life, right? They want their definition of who they are at their core. So we put some insights alongside Harper. We also created a Mackenzie, which is that career go-getter woman. We put a persona together for Marcus, another one of their target audience groups, who's that hometown hero, risking his life, to save others. This is the personalities that we're talking to. Now, granted, are there going to be a little bit of overlap? Yeah, but these are the real people that we're showing up for. Here's who we would love and be honored to sell our product or service to. And it doesn't matter, again, what niche of a business that you're in, you still have an ideal audience of who you would really love to work with, who's going to be really proud to refer you on. And that's what 50 Strong did. Then we got specific on, okay, if this is our audience, this is who we are, what social channels make the most sense to help us reach our goals. And to reach our goals, we know which social channels we need to be set up on. We also know where our audience is hanging out. What do they enjoy listening to? Where do they enjoy, getting their information? Because then this tells us, who do we need to be building community with? Who do we need to be targeting? Who do we need to be introduced to in order to get this rapport built and established with this people that already have a trusted audience so we can get invited into that inbox? It's reverse engineering our goals too, of saying, here's where we want to be at the end of the year. That means we need this many sales. That means it needs to come from this many places. That means we need to show up here, here, and here. It means also getting personalized with the content that we're sharing online, right? To outcare that competition, CARE stands for capturing attention first. That's the C. A is articulating our message more than anyone else, getting crystal clear so we can make sure that we're getting that repeat and referral business. The R is relationships for longevity, right? Getting that repeat and referral business. And E and care is all about exceptional experiences. So when we shifted our focus and really drilled into who they were and who they're talking to, now our posts could get personalized. We can set up paying influencers. We can create influencers. We can have our community nominate who they think is living an extraordinary life, have them nominate a local woman that is just doing just that. And that's what we did. Instead of paying influencers that could care less if they're posting with our product or service, it may get a lot of likes, but it didn't get conversions, right? Likes and all of those vanity metrics just feed ego. They don't feed the bank, right? This post did. This post got shared and had more sales than any of their influencer posts combined. That's because people love this. They knew her. They worked with her. They were parents of her. They were advocating for her because she was nominated. This was a woman located in my small town of Lima, Ohio, actually, that was nominated. Another one, it was getting our clients involved in the process. We said, what would you like to see on the water bottle? So people nominated the things that they wanted to see on the water bottles, getting them involved in the process. Now, granted, it's easier to do with a product, but it could be done with a service too. Like, what service do you feel is missing? What should we include in? What do you love about what we do? What do you wish we did more of? Asking your audience to participate gives them ownership, and it shifts that mindset from them just buying from you to them now belonging with you because they feel like they have some ownership and stake in what you're doing. We did this with 50 Strong. Granted, it is not an overnight thing. I'm not promising turn it on and it's going to open up the sales floodgates, but it did open up some sales floodgates. It just took consistency, showing up with clarity, conviction, and creativity in order to generate these results. So at the end of a year's time, we had 311 more sessions, 156 more new users, rounding down, and 157 more users overall. That's people coming back again and again, building that craveability, to their brand. And at the end of the day, we had 331% increased ROI with just shifting the tone of our voice and caring more, showing up to really, truly connect, not just sell to people. And what's funny is that we actually lost 1,200 fans during that first year. Now, granted, they had, thousands of fans on their page, but we lost 1,200 because they were the wrong audience. They were people that were just on the page because of an influencer or something mentioned them, but they didn't care about 50 Strong at the end of the day. And that's what it boils down to, that we can't just count likes. We have to start counting conversations and the stuff that matters, because likes are a vanity thing. It just feeds ego. It does not feed the bank. So make sure that we're connecting with the right audience, because that's how we get invited to that conversation, right? We need to write and talk to our audience as if we are directly talking to them. Like, this is one of the posts they literally put out. I'm always really proud when my pee is clear. Like, hell yeah, I'm so damn hydrated. Okay, granted, that is not something most brands would be comfortable saying, but this is the tone that they're using with their audience because they figured it out. They've put a personality to the brand. They asked and then they listened to what their audience wanted. And if people love working with you, they're going to insist that their friends and their peers do business with you too. So capturing attention is all about knowing your audience and making them the hero, connecting with them, making it about them, knowing your tone, creating a brand manifesto, and knowing what you do better than anyone else. And then we have to articulate our message in a way that resonates with our audience, and articulating it so they can, have a repeat referral system in place. Because if nobody knows what it is that you do really well and better than anyone else, then no one else can refer you on. So we have to show up with all the content that we're putting out and think about it this way. And I agree. I love acronyms. So I'm going to throw another one at you, is that everything that you're putting out, think about it this way. If I'm creating a post of any kind on social media, I first have to ask myself, is it personalized? Am I imagining that I'm communicating with my ideal audience on the other end of the screen? Is it open-ended? So is it leaving them the opportunity to respond, or am I just talking at them? Is it style? Does it have the same style that our brand has? Could people recognize it as our brand by putting it out there? Yes, with imagery, but also with just tone, like what I shared with the 50 strong post. That was them. They're snarky. That's their style, right? Like that's how they want to show up. And the T is all about timeliness, right? In 2020, we've seen this a lot in brands called out because they weren't in touch with what was happening today, in making it feel like you are belonging with your community, you're experiencing it with them. That tone makes a huge difference. Personalizing your content and articulating your message at the end of the day means personalizing it as well. So here's an easy way to do it. And I'm going to give you a couple examples. One is by video. Use this video tool, right? And show up and create a customized video personalized to your audience, thanking them for something. It could be a customer that just purchased from you. It could be somebody that you just had a discovery call with before you write a proposal. It could be somebody that just invited you to their live stream, but personalize a video response back to them. It's going to get opened. Even if it's a sales, email, personalize it. Another way of doing it is getting people into the inbox, starting that conversation and say, hey, message us with new features that you would like us to include. Hey, tell us a woman that you would like to nominate in your community that's living an extraordinary life. That was an example from 50 Strong. Here's a couple other examples. Gary Vaynerchuk says, hey, text me. Text me the questions you have, things that you care about. Granted, I do not want to see his text messaging, but this is it. He knew that inviting people into the inbox is key, building that rapport with them. Hellman Mayonnaise did a great job. They have this on WhatsApp where you can message into them and share with them the ingredients that you have in your kitchen. And they will give you a recipe that you can use to create dinner for your family. Talk about intimate. Talk about building a relationship and a rapport. You can't get much more intimate than building a dinner for somebody's family. This is the creativity that I'm talking about, thinking outside the box and thinking about how can we become open-ended to get people to have this conversation with us, because relationships will always be more powerful than any kind of marketing that we do. Relationships is the currency of business. So think about it this way. If we're creating better relationships with our audience, we're building better rapport, then we don't have to worry about the sales funnel, because our clients are going to become our best advocates. Our team members are going to become our best evangelists. Our followers on our page are going to become our best fans, right? Our community is going to become our collaborators. And what's going to happen is this flywheel effect is going to happen. So once we show up authentically who we are, we're going to show up in the middle to start this flywheel effect of momentum that's just going to help our brand go outward in momentum and build our brand sustainably, organically, because others are showing up to build our advocacy and our sales rep, be a sales rep for our business at the end of the day. So think about, how can I treat my customers like the VIPs that they are, instead of constantly them seeing us just trying to get new business? How can I personalize my responses or give some kind of amazing, delight moment that people are going to want to talk about? How can I monitor sentiment of what people are seeing and feeling about our content? Checking in with them, asking questions, because ultimately we want the best experience possible. Last part of care. Experience is the verb, how we make people feel. So whether it's leaving a little handwritten note, like this person did when I was buying crystals online. I bought crystals online, and actually I bought this on Amazon. So usually it's just like buying a product there, right? You're not in love with the brand yet. And I'm a crystal collector, but this person sent me my crystals back, but then they sent a little handwritten note thanking me for that purchase, but personalized it. And now I've been their forever customer. They took the little extra time to make my experience personalized and special. 50 Strong, going back to the example with them, what they did is create little bookmarks, because they know their people are readers. They create customized, inspiring, live that exceptional, life, and have that exceptional experience in their life, extraordinary life where they're doing the most, putting the most life in their years, if you will. They customized the bookmarks to them and stuck it in the water bottle. People were taking pictures of that because they knew that this was something cool. Because when brands show up to delight, deliver, and do it again, that's what gets remembered. That's exceptional experiences that people remember and want to talk about. That starts from I say the inside out. That starts from establishing your brand, your personas, but then also looking at what your customer is going through this online journey online when they're starting their 90% of the buying cycle online, 60% of it over before they talk to you. What is it like for them to get information? What is it like for them to get in touch with you? What is your follow-up process like? And are you truly caring about what they're saying? Because all of those things will help them want to leave a review. They'll want to become an advocate for your company, and they'll want to build conversations and potentially invite you in this dark social world. This is how you're going to care and care more for your competition, because you're going to build this flywheel effect. And this is how you're going to exhort and influence the next wave of marketing. If you want to dive into this more, because I know we only had a short period of time, but this is how you're really going to stand out. You can go to either learnrelationshipmarketing.com, or you can follow this link. It is case sensitive. It's bit.ly/all caps care, capital MORE for care more. And it's going to give you a workbook on how you can build this out for your brand to exhort and influence the next wave of marketing. Again, my name is Jessika Phillips. I care a lot. It's kind of my thing. I would love to hear your questions and feedback. Feel free to connect with me on any of the socials. You can go to jessikaphillips.com. But until then, I wish all of you a craveable 2021 experience in growing and exhorting your influence in 2021. Thanks again for your time. I look forward to speaking with you and learning more all about you guys very, very soon.